Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel. Talks about all the cars and trucks and SUVs and motorcycles in the rainy day. Hey, good morning there. Good to see you this Friday morning. Appreciate you tuning in for the Friday morning conversation. And it's raining like crazy here. So I'm kind of standing underneath the shelter here until I start walking and talking because I don't want to get too wet. Right, so let's see what we're going to talk about today on the rainy Friday. Beautiful day, really, per se, for the spring weather upon us. Having the rains come in to make the greenery even more green and give me opportunity to cut grass even more. And weed whack, and such a beautiful here. And, wow, look at this. Look at the collection of the twins. If you kind of look at my vehicles, how many Mustangs? I had 5 Mustangs at one time. Did I have twins? I had quadruplets. I had more than that, right? Pentagon or hexagon or whatever you say, the number 5 or 6. And you walk over here, it just seems like I'm a twin. I'm a 2-for, 4-for type of person. Because if you look over here, you'll see a bunch of Ford trucks. And in some aspects, right now I have 3 F-150 trucks. You know, they're twins. I got 2 Ram, they're triplets. Got 2 Ram trucks. I got that 450. And then a while back I had 2 Broncos. And a while back I had 2 Ford Mustang Mach-E's. Come on, puppies! Let's go, come on! Yeah, and then inside the shop I've got twins. I've got 2 Challengers. You know, I should have figured this. I was out in the shop last night, but close to 9 o'clock, as I cleaned up this Ford Mustang Mach-E, and then I power washed this whole area of all the bird poop, and it's already all back. I mean, it's just disgusting. These birds, they just live in my barn. Come on, pups! Come on, let's go! Come on, Scout! So one dog, he's got issues this morning, so yeah, so what is the conversation? And come on, Scout! Scout, come on, boy! Come on, boy, come on! Good boy. So, yeah, I thought this morning we'd talk about the clones. How about the clone conversation of cars? Because aren't cars all built the same? I mean, isn't that kind of where this all... let me get my regular stuff here, get the light on. Jeez, I tell you what, if you clean a car, I mean, I literally cleaned this car and waxed it last night. Jesus Christ. What a project. And what the challenge to me is, when you leave these vehicles outside all the time, it really just starts to destroy the paint in these vehicles. If you don't really stay on top of them, clean them and wax them. I mean, the environment just destroys these vehicles. And everybody put a PPP film on it. Paint protection film. No way. Because I sell my damn cars too much. Way too much money just thrown away. I'm not spending $2,000-$3,000 in cars, but paint protection, why don't even keep them? So at the end, who cares anyways, right? As the Mopars, the sisters here. So yeah, here's 2 sisters. Yeah, so let's spurn all this, right? So let's get up here in the office and get the day going. Rainy day. Not going to be on the day. I'm going to be on the day. I'm going to be on the road. I decided last night I need to drive that Mach-E. It's been sitting so much. I got to drive it. But even though I spent all that time cleaning it up, for what, right? Yeah. Yeah, you know these stories. Let's get upstairs. Come on, get upstairs. Come on. Go. As I trip going upstairs, right? Oh, my goodness gracious. The stairs. Who doesn't have the stairs? So, all right, dark in here. Let's get the day going. Stop, man. For me, it's just non-stop, which I like that. Not complaining. I need to get a new office chair. My office chair is, I bet you 15 years old. And it doesn't hold the pressure. So it shrinks down. So I'm sinking. Yeah, am I still waking up? Man, I tell you what. I slept really good last night. And it's all the physical activity. That's a challenge at older. It's just staying in physical activity. Gotta keep doing it. And as you get older, it's not as easy. And I've talked about it all the time. It's the day after. You know, so you can just kick butt. But as you progress in life, it's like this, the day after, you're like, man, I felt that yesterday. And recoup time versus younger, you just get up and do it all over again, and you're resilient as all get out. So what spurred the? I had lots of different ideas of talking about things, and to try to keep the car theme going, I thought to myself, why don't we talk about twins? But it's broader than that. It's really more about how in the car industry, the automotive industry, 100 years ago, figured out how to duplicate cars. Same thing over and over again. So the manufacturing, the industrial revolution that evolved the automotive industry to capitalize on being able to tool machinery and parts and components to be put together over and over again to look exactly the same. There was a running joke. You can order a Model T any color you want as long as it's black. Right. So, I mean, how many vehicles are built that looked exactly the same? Same thing in motorcycles. And so what spurred this was a Wall Street Journal article. I just actually woke up this morning. I read a journalist, Joanna Stern, that created herself, did the Chat GPT, the generative pre-trained transformer, which I talked in great length about here, I don't know, a few months ago. It is a growing trend, the AI growing trend. Elon Musk apparently was down at the White, or I should say down at the Capitol, I guess a day or so ago, trying to really inform the legislative bureaucrats about how serious this AI stuff is and the harm it could do if we don't try to keep it under control. And so anyway, so that article was about Joanna Stern. You can go to Wall Street Journal if you subscribe. You may be able to see it unsubscribed. And you can see how she transformed herself. She cloned herself. And the technology is out there to accomplish that. It's beyond believable that there's software companies out there that are populating as I speak. They're going to help you create yourself in a robot way. It's happening. And so, keeping the car theme, I thought to myself, well, yeah, let's think this through a little bit. Could we, in some way, give Elon Musk of Tesla the credits for AI? Or could we be angered at Elon Musk for AI? Meaning, he's definitely one of the key figures that in San Francisco, along with like four other individuals, created the AI research and began that mission of creating artificial intelligence. But at the same time, I think about his car line. For Elon Musk, he created Tesla, which most people are like, it's the computer on wheels. And he was smart. He put cameras in all of these Teslas in the very early stages of selling these vehicles. And everybody knows the early stages didn't have the technology it has today, but he put cameras in these cars that allowed these cars to collect data and information to start to create the potential of the autonomous vehicle. So for Elon Musk, in so many ways, this guy, I guess you could say he's the guilty one that kind of has maybe more than anybody in the masses has started the AI transformation. Remember, I talked about this a lot, that ChatGPT, generative pre-trained transformer. Just think of the way those 4 words, generative pre-trained transformer. And I just think, yeah, it's about transforming you. Yeah, you're not going to transform it. It's going to transform you. So on the car aspect, if I just walked in, if you look at me, all the years of me owning cars, it is interesting, even for myself, when I kind of look back on how many twins I had in cars. So very early in my marriage, I started my business back in 1996. I ended up buying a Pontiac Grand Prix. I set myself a goal of, my success. And in 1997, summer 1997, I bought the brand new Pontiac Grand Prix. Was it the turbo? Even for me, it's like, Jesus Christ, it's so many cars. Yeah, it was a badass sedan car. You can get them in a 2-door, 4-door. And I got the 4-door car, a white one. And shortly after I bought that, I decided to give my wife one. So, in the very early stages of my marriage with my wife, I always had like 2 vehicles for her to drive. Because my wife used to drive 100 miles a day. And I always wanted to flip the cars back and forth to try to manage the schedule on service and maintenance and everything else. But I also, my wife is not the car person by any means. Thank God. Jesus Christ. Can you even imagine? So for her, my thoughts always were to keep her in the same environment. That was my basic plan was she could go from one car to another car, just a different color car, maybe a few different options, but not much. But it's the same environment for her. It's the same surroundings. It's the same size vehicle. It's the same controls. And I just felt that would be a better thing for her to have than to have 2 opposite vehicles. And that was, back in the 90s. And I kept that going to the point that I bought some GMC. I'm trying to think, I guess the Trailblazers. I just can't. It's just so many. The Yukon or whatever, the Envoy. Yeah, the GMC Envoy. And then I evolved to the Toyota 4Runners. We had a bunch of Toyota 4Runners. And then I evolved to Jeep Grand Cherokee. We had 2 Jeep Grand Cherokees with the Eco Diesels. So I always kind of kept the same thing going for my wife because she drove so many miles. And just to kind of manage the miles in the car, the service and maintenance, have to have the oil changed, I just always rotated. I'd keep her in a car for about a month or 2 and then flip her to another one. So the whole point is I've always had like twin cars. And then I've always had like the same brand. So if you go back so many years ago, you would have just seen all Ram. You would have seen all the Dodge, Dakota, and the Ram trucks all in my fleet of vehicles. You wouldn't see much more than that. Well, you saw some Chevys or the Pontiacs or whatever it may be. But the whole point is, for me, cloning myself and my vehicles, I've always have done that. So he just walked with me across the parking lot and just saw I have the same products within same reasonable years of each other that all have the same type of setup when you drive them. One's a 2-door versus a 4-door, but all the technology and all the things that you use to operate it are within reason of the same. And that's what I'm going back to is with Elon Musk. He created, in so many aspects, the beginnings of artificial intelligence through the vehicles that we have. So in so many aspects, if you kind of just step back for a second, the cars are really the foundation of where the robots are coming from. I mean, I'm sure other people could challenge that and talk about planes and military technology, but I'm just saying, for us, being the car, nuts and car gurus or whatever you may be, it seems as if the cars are bringing all this technology through the borderline artificial intelligence with the autonomous driving and the safety and, the hands-free, the Blue Cruise, the Highway Cruise, all the different manufacturers bringing all these different platforms of innovation to these vehicles that in so many ways are the beginnings of the robots. And the reason like I said earlier, that I kind of came to this idea of talking about this morning, it was because of that Joanna Stern Wall Street Journal article that she published, and did a whole. I just got a cough this morning because I'm drinking coffee and I'm just getting going. So sorry about that. Just one of those mornings when I'm all choked up. And I ate a banana nut muffin. So a banana nut probably just got me. Certain things that really do irritate your esophagus, and for me, it's just crazy. Lately, it really has gone away like never. I mean, it really has gone away. Thank God. I'm just managing my kind of the way I eat things and do things a little differently, and it really is paying off. So, anyways, the Joanna Stern, her article just really intrigued me to step back and look at how us car people are part of the transition of these vehicles. They're going to be self-driving, not anytime soon, but I'd have to say, in some aspects, yeah, it's going to play out, even though somebody will challenge that. But it's happening already, and these vehicles that we have are advancing the robotics. I mean, are they? Is it really going to create the individual that you can create yourself in so many ways? That's the whole thing. Joanna Stern did this whole her own personal creating herself, and she had like 4 different things that she went through the criteria to kind of do a checklist of what worked and what didn't. And between her voice recognition and her looks, her avatar, and her expressions, and her interaction with others. I mean, so she kind of tried. So what she kind of came to closure was that the AI, you can clone yourself in your voice. Yeah, in your voice, she feels very strong that you can clone yourself. In your avatar, you try to create yourself to look like who you are on TikTok or somewhere else. It doesn't work because it just doesn't have the same facial expressions and stuff like that. So there's a few areas in which she feels like it just isn't there. But man, I tell you what, the coffee this morning is starting. Jesus Christ. I guess it's the coffee. And anyways, my apologies here. So anyways, yeah, and I keep on drinking coffee, right? Yeah, how goofy are you? Yeah, we're all goofy in so many ways. But so anyways, the cars that we're driving today, as everybody knows, following the technology, it truly does more than ever have eyes in the road. And I talked about this the other day about how our eyes, what are your eyes? And that's what it's all about. All this technology is about the eyes. And so much so that that's the challenge for this ChatGPT is getting the eyes and the facial look to kind of really transform itself into the fake person. But it's really eerie stuff. I mean, it really is. I mean, it is. It's incredible to think that you can create your voice, and that's where the devious things are going to start to prevail. It's already happening. Have you heard the latest that Jeremy Powell back in January thought he was talking to Zelensky from Ukraine? Yes, it's factual. Somebody called, portraying themselves as Zelensky from Ukraine, and talked to Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve guy, within deep conversations for 15, 20, 30-minute conversations. And they're now finding out that he never called. It was somebody, pretending to be this guy Zelensky. Yeah, so you can only imagine as time goes on, the amount of fake calls from somebody calling somebody that isn't that person, how that starts to play out. And what's the scary part is the bank. So what she did, she was able to get through the banking with this artificial intelligence voice. So artificial intelligence voice that she created, it imitated her and it talked like her. And the mobile app on her phone, it allowed the clone of her to get into her banking. So that's the concern, is that people are going to steal your identity. And not only going to do that, they're going to steal your voice recognition. And they're going to be able to get into a lot of stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. What she just showed this morning to me, it's going to be huge. Huge. You're going to hear people have their bank accounts cleaned out. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So it is pretty crazy times on this artificial intelligence. But this is the other thing I thought about all this. And yesterday, I just have different views and ideas and what to talk about. And boy, oh boy, if you look at the remote working, and I've talked about this so much, is how I talked about how people are doing drugs, they're just not up to speed and trying to do their tasks. How do you really know per se when people are remotely working? And more than ever, the resistance of people going back to work is huge. It's people literally will quit their job and go work for somebody else and offer them that remote working capability. But here's the thing: in California, in San Francisco, one of the one building on California, 350 California Street, is what they're calling it. That building was valued at $300 million 4 years ago. It's empty, and it's getting ready to be put up for sale. And most people speculate that it's lost so much value that it may be worth $80 million. But at the same time, they're not sure that anybody even buy it because of the remote working has cleaned house on the infrastructure of these major cities that people don't commute to work anymore. And this is why I thought this would be a good conversation this morning. This artificial intelligence is, man, oh boy, I'm in bad shape today, man. I'll just say it straight up. Jesus Christ. Yeah, yikes. My daughter actually is sick as all get out. I mean, she really is. You know what she has going on? She has a really bad cough. And we don't know what's going on right now. She's probably giving it to me in all reality. I wouldn't even actually this morning. I don't feel the greatest, so I'm probably getting what my daughter has. I'm not lying. And she stands around me, he's hacking and coughing. I'm just like, you are so going to get me sick. I'm sitting there eating breakfast. She's standing in front of me hacking and coughing as eating breakfast. Does anybody know these stories? Have kids, as soon as they get sick, yep, you're going to be sick too. So I'm probably going to be sick. So anyways, the remote working has totally transformed all these cities to being the empty cities and the empty infrastructure. So all these major commercial properties, their time is now coming from the pandemic. They've had so many years to ride out the pandemic challenges, but there's just so many articles being written on how these leases of these big properties are coming to an end of where companies had committed to them and aren't renewing the lease. Or if they renew the lease, they're wanting huge discounts and huge negotiations of having rent free from what used to be 6 months now to 18 months. So there's a lot of havoc going on in the commercial real estate industry that caters to the people that used to drive to work and go to work every day of their life. And so, but what I thought to myself this morning is, wow. So think about, if you're a remote worker, you just keep on fighting for your remote working, because think it through. If you can clone yourself for your voice recognition, and in so many aspects, you can download the software to do the work that you do remotely, unbeknownst to your colleagues and your boss, you're out riding your motorcycle all day long while everybody thinks you're sitting behind the computer. Wow. Yeah, is that probably going to start to play out as time progresses with the advancement of the artificial intelligence technology, the chat GPT, the generative pre-trained transformer that transforms itself into you? Yeah. So, wow. Can you even imagine? You'll start hearing stories down the road of people, and that's the thing. I'm sure everybody here has had this thought. If only you could clone yourself to do what you do. Who hasn't had that thought? If you have a hectic schedule, who hasn't thought, wow, if I could just have me be somewhere else today, then wouldn't that be so cool? Or if you could duplicate yourself over and over again, where you're doing many tasks and earning monies from your capabilities that are cloned over and over again that all come back to you. Yeah, right. Okay, so I think to myself, wow, if we don't start to hear the stories of people that aren't actually behind the screen of their computer and they have outsmarted those around them to use all this different software and technology, and they're out fishing or they're out, doing whatever, yard work, running their errands, whatever, but they're thought to be working behind the computer. Yeah, I mean, I think, is it even possible to a degree it's already happening? Somebody out there that's such a whiz, the computer whiz, that figure all this stuff out.
It's already doing that. I mean, you wouldn't. So yeah, anybody out there that's remotely working, just keep on fighting because if you can, you just may at some point master this GPT. You're going to be like, yeah, man, this is awesome. I've cloned myself to do my work. Oh my gosh. Well, think it through. What's the goal of autonomous driving vehicles? What's the goal of you can be sitting here as I send my vehicle up the road to go get something if Amazon can't get it here first. Anybody seeing the UPS earnings? Tanked. UPS biggest fall in stock values in 20, 20 plus years. Because their business model is down. You know what's really weird too is for me, I actually just thought about that last night. I was reading the earnings and the Wall Street and stuff, and I was thinking to myself, the amount of UPS trucks that used to run up down my street. Amazon trucks to FedEx trucks, it would drive you nuts. You know what? Here lately, it is nothing like it used to be. Huh? What's going on? I mean, really, it's sincere. The amount of delivery trucks that used to be in my rural area on a daily basis, they seem to have kind of like slowed down a lot. Even the Amazon delivery trucks seem to have kind of like dissipated. So, yeah, it's just all the never-ending conversations of the economy's definitely slowing down. Yeah, I think it is. Here's a good YouTube video, and I actually made a comment on this young man's video because it was kind of like, to me, it's like, man, I don't know if you really know the automotive market. So he's probably getting a ton of hits because his whole theme of the video is about dealers getting away with still marking cars up and they're hiding cars. So his whole theme, he's out of California, Van Nuys, California, and his whole theme is that he went around, he went to a Dodge Jeep dealership. And he's showing how they're hiding vehicles off site of the dealership. And they've got them all marked up. And they're just fooling the consumers to think that they don't have any cars in their car lot, but they got a gazillion cars somewhere else. And I thought, I think your idea, it has credentials to it. But also I think to myself, does this young man actually know how many cars a car dealership sells? And this is pretty amazing. If I wasn't so into the automotive industry and so close with these general managers and so close with salespeople, then I wouldn't really know this information. But since I am, I do. A car dealership, a very modest car dealership, is going to sell 3, 4, 5 cars a day. That's a very low volume car dealership, 90, 100 cars a month. Your average car dealership, like, okay, the Dodge dealership I deal with, they're a low volume dealer for this area. They sell about 250 to 300 cars a month. All right. So you're talking, they average anywhere from 8 to 10 cars a day. They're a low volume car dealership in my area. If you go to the more high volume car dealerships, they're doing 500, 600. And it's pre-pandemic. I know for a fact some of these are doing 700 to 800 cars a month. Yes, most people are clueless. This young man, he's clueless that this Van Nuys, Dodge dealership, they probably sell 500 cars a month. So how do you put 500 cars on a footprint of a car dealership? Tunes Tyson's Dodge, pre-pandemic, and ongoing today, I'm sure, they rent out parking garages. And what's pretty incredible is there's so many parking garages that are now empty that these dealerships in these higher, metropolis areas can take advantage of the no longer commuting people to work, that these office buildings need any money they can. So these car dealerships are taking advantage of using their parking garages that they can secure the cars with better security. And they park all these cars off site because they don't have enough room. So pre-pandemic, I rode around up there in Tyson's Corner with salespeople being driven a mile, 2 miles from a dealership to these garages, parking garages, where they had levels and levels of all their cars. So this young man's portraying that this car dealership is hiding cars from the general public. It's like, has anybody gone to a car dealership And even for you, you're fighting for a spot just to park your car, just to get in the damn dealership. I mean, who hasn't had this challenge? Literally, you go to a busy car dealership on a Saturday, and you roll in, and you borderline drive away. I guarantee there's a lot of people that have driven to car dealerships and they can't find a car spot. And they're just like, you know what? I'm not up for this because it's just too damn busy. So for that person there, I'm like, yeah, I think you're misinformed. A car dealership cannot survive off selling one car a day. It doesn't work. These car dealerships have massive overhead. That's what, going back to the remote working. The remote working has totally killed the whole infrastructure and tax base of these cities. They really have. I mean, the cities are, San Francisco is projecting like $1 billion shortfall of taxes. Wow. So, just slowly as the wheel grinds, as time progresses, I think you're really going to start to see some huge factors start to play out from this remote working and the cloning ourselves. I mean, I really think you're going to hear the stories about this stuff. The people that clone themselves will be working all day long. I'll be amazed if it's not already, some aspects already going on. This is like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Anybody see that video? Or I should say see that movie? That classic. I gotta drink my coffee, even if it's making me cough and act like crazy. Man, something's going on. Yeah, you ever just get that feeling like you're starting to get sick? Yeah, I told my kid 2 days ago, it's like, look, you are hacking and coughing all over me. You're going to get me sick. I just know it out of my mind. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, the adventures of getting sick for the weekend on a rainy weekend, and I have a busy-ass schedule. I mean, I do. I got to go out in the rain all day today and work. Yeah, there's one of these stories. Yeah, so I could go on and on and on about how I got to talk more in depth about this whole remote working and what it's done for the, and just kind of touch on a little bit. This remote working, you don't hear one green activist talk about the amount of carbon footprint that has been saved from the pandemic of everybody being shut down and everybody working from home and all the travel stopped. There's no talk from one green activist what a major advancement we made in trying to make this world a better place on eliminating the carbon footprint in the masses. It was huge, a huge, savings in carbon footprint. And now today, people don't commute to work anymore. It's huge. They do not have the same infrastructure, so the amount of carbon footprint is at least 30% down in so many aspects of that itself. But you don't hear one green activist talk about what this remote working has done to advance their green agenda ideology. You don't talk about it. All I can continue to talk about is you need to turn off electricity at your house. You need to quit eating meat, and you need to eat grass outside your yard, if even that. You need to eat dirt, because grass creates energy to make grass, because you got to cut the grass. Yeah, the list goes on and on and on. And the list, anyways, that's it. Hey, I hope I'm not getting sick. I don't know, man. It's embarrassing to be on a YouTube channel like I have and sitting here hacking cough this morning. So my sincere apologies. Anybody's watching my channel to listen to me, hacking and coughing. But anyways, the show must go on, right? Hey, everybody, thanks for watching my channel. What are you doing today besides riding around a freaking car all day in the rain? Yeah, oh boy. And I got a busy day. I got to get going. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for your support. God bless. Stay safe and stay tuned. Have a great rainy day.